Remember your first video game? No matter how much fun it was, you most likely wouldn't like to play it today because of the low quality of graphics for early video games. Today, however, video game graphics have come a long way, though there are always a few more hills to climb. In this insightful video, we'll illuminate the path graphics have taken, find out how they started and what the future holds. Before we begin, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and press the bell icon. Video gaming in its early stages. The gaming industry is worth $65.49 billion in the United States alone. These figures are not surprising given that the video game industry has become the de facto standard for sophisticated entertainment for both children and adults. It's safe to say that video games are frequently used as a fun distraction from life's responsibilities. One of the reasons why more people are interested in gaming is the evolution of video game graphics. From the 1972 Pong, a two-dimensional table tennis game, to today's sophisticated 3D and VR games, we've come a long way. At the moment, game developers are attempting to provide gamers with an immersive experience across all consoles by using detailed graphics. Red Dead Redemption 2 and Forza Horizon 4 are two games with excellent graphics, with some screenshots appearing photorealistic at times, and they continue to lead the market in terms of user experience. These are not the only fantastic games that have been released over the years. A slew of games with unfathomable graphical fidelity are now flooding the market. But, in order to grasp how far the evolution has progressed, it is only fair to begin at the beginning. Early arcade games. A millennial gamer looking back for decades will be amazed by the low-quality graphics in games released in the 1970s and 1980s. Because there was no sophisticated technology at the time, developers used low-cost programmable microprocessors with a simplistic graphics approach. Space Invaders was a popular early arcade game that used sprites to simulate a 3D look, though it appears dated to our modern sensibilities. Atari 2600. The Atari 2600 was one of the first home game consoles to be released. Its graphics were inferior to arcade games, but thanks to the addition of color, video game players could still enjoy games with similar immersion to arcades. Pac-Man, Frogger, and Missile Command were among the games available for the Atari 2600. One distinguishing feature of these games was that the gameplay difficulty increased with each level. Fighting games began to gain popularity, much to the delight of the players. Nintendo Entertainment System. The Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, marked a significant advancement in the gaming industry. The 8-bit console transformed gaming by allowing players to play a wide variety of games on interchangeable cartridges. The console used next-generation graphic technology at the time to improve on previous game versions such as Mario Bros., which was renamed Super Mario Bros. The Nintendo Entertainment System's impressive video game library propelled the industry to new heights. The console sparked consumer interest, significantly increasing its popularity, and was considered groundbreaking technology for its time, thanks to its articulate character control and immersive gameplay. Super Nintendo. The 1990s brought with them a better way for customers to play their favorite games. When compared to the graphics on the NES, this 16-bit console had far superior video and graphic capabilities. Audio quality improved as well, and SNES games gave birth to an entirely new musical genre that is still popular today. Technological progress was accelerating. To gain a competitive advantage, Super Nintendo developers designed enhancement chips to accommodate the evolution of video game graphics. People who had previously played previous versions of Super Mario were overjoyed with the upgraded versions, which included Super Mario World and Super Mario Kart. Other games from the SNES library that are still considered some of the best video games ever made include Dragon Quest V, The Legend of Zelda, and Final Fantasy VI. Sony's PlayStation is born. The Sony PlayStation ushered in the fifth generation of video games. The console had 32-bit graphics and was powered by CDs rather than cartridges. Full motion video, higher display resolutions, and greater color depth were now available in PlayStation games. Because of the transition from 2D to 3D graphics, the 32-bit era helped to define video game history. Later in its life, it added internet connectivity and handheld consoles. It also ended the use of cartridges, at least on home consoles, and introduced optical discs as a newer and more advanced method of game storage. Nintendo 64. Nintendo skipped the 32-bit era in order to gain a competitive advantage, instead developing games with 3D graphic capabilities. While the technology wasn't exactly cutting edge, the clever placement of sprites and a bit of manipulation allowed developers to successfully achieve graphics that looked like they were in 3D, a technique known as 2.5D. However, some of the most well-known games of the time, such as The Legend of Zelda, The Ocarina of Time, were fully 3D. Despite returning to cartridges, the Nintendo 64 was a market game-changer. The console's games included graphics processing features such as realistic texture mapping and anti-aliasing. Given that the Nintendo 64 elevated the gaming experience to the point where those games are still played today, it is not surprising that gamers emerged as a distinct subculture around this time. 3D graphics. In the 3D era, the evolution of video game graphics was more pronounced. The Sega Dreamcast console, which debuted in 1998, transformed computer game graphics by adding depth to the games and bringing the virtual world to life. It featured next-generation graphics, ushering Sonic the Hedgehog into an immersive 3D era, dubbed Sonic Adventure. In the industry's never-ending quest to improve the gaming experience, the Sega Dreamcast was among the first to innovate on online gaming, allowing players to play multiplayer games online and chat with other players. Furthermore, the Dreamcast's microphone and video memory unit were unique peripherals that enhanced the user experience. Its graphic capabilities were far superior to what Nintendo and PlayStation had previously achieved. Modern-day games. Graphics in modern games have nearly photorealistic fidelity, with many of today's games featuring graphics unimaginable to previous generations. Play a game from the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 era, then compare it to a modern version of God of War. You'll notice an immediate improvement in graphics. They welcome technological advancements such as internet connectivity, advanced graphics, in-game purchases, and even advanced artificial intelligence. Their smooth user interfaces, gameplay advancements, faster processor speeds, and mind-blowing video technology all work together to provide gamers with an experience unlike any other. No early arcade game developer could have predicted that the video game industry would undergo such a transformation in computer game graphics in just a few decades. Nobody could have predicted that gamers would be racing in virtual cities that are almost identical to real ones on the meter. The video game industry is highly competitive, with all major players striving to outperform one another. This level of competition can reassure gamers that the best game graphics are yet to come. As unbelievable as it may appear, further advancements in computer game graphics are expected. Some modern-day games will become classics in the coming decades, and games from the 2040s and 2050s may be as unrecognizable to us as Crysis was to the developers of Pong. This was the evolution of video game graphics. We hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for more videos about the evolution of things. Thank you for watching.